by this day, she's a fair lady.
Much Ado About Nothing, Shakespeare's comedic tale of love and deception, gets a modern twist. Joss Whedon's adaptation of The Reluctant Romance opens the Seattle International Film Festival tonight. And joining us this morning, we have three stars of the film, Amy Acker and Alexis Denisof, who play the couple Beatrice and Benedict, and Nathan Fillion, who is Dogberry, the bumbling chief of police. Thank you so much. We're thrilled to have the three of you here today.
Oh, thank you. We're delighted to be here.
So, for people who maybe haven't read Much Ado About Nothing since high school, or who aren't familiar with the story, can you kind of summarize for us what it's about? Alexis.
I mean, it's the first romantic comedy, really. You know, this was written 400 or so years ago, but you wouldn't know it because this couple, Beatrice and Benedict, have been reinvented time and again throughout the history of theater and film and TV as many other sparring lovers who are meant to be together, and they're the only ones who don't know it. And around them is this wonderful world of characters, one of whom played brilliantly by Nathan Fillion, plays a bumbling law enforcement officer and his henchman. And there's another love story of a kind of younger lovers that's in a very different tone to Beatrice and Benedict. And so yeah, we shot this in an amazingly short amount of time.
Well, I was curious about that. That was one of my questions for you, because I'm going to guess that when Joss Whedon calls you, you just say yes to whatever he's asking.
Yeah.
Correct.
But still, it had to be daunting. 12 days, right? 12 days you shot this?
12 days.
Shot it in I think none of us really knew that it was going to be, you know, opening at these film festivals and being as celebrated as it has been.
I would have done a much better job if I'd known that these people were going to see
That
it.
everybody would actually watch it?
Yeah.
And he only called us 2 weeks before we started shooting, so we didn't really have time to panic, which we probably should have. We just had to kind of start learning lines.
Well, and learning the lines, it seems like it's even a little bit more than that, because even though this is a contemporary take on it, you're using Shakespeare's dialogue, not modern language. So I'm curious, from a couple perspectives, how was that for you in learning the lines? And then also, are you worried at all that that'll be daunting for audiences, that they'll think like, I don't want to listen to classic Shakespeare?
I'm going to field this one.
Take it.
Please do.
Coming from a guy who doesn't have a lot of Shakespeare experience as a participant or an audience member, these two can handle Shakespeare very, very well. And in their hands, I understand everything. I can read it, and I can glean a meaning, but watching Shakespeare done well, I understand. And it might take a minute or two off the top of the movie, because it is twisted. It's a little bit, it's English as we know it, but it's just a little mixed up. It takes a minute or two to get into the swing, but you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. Trust me, you'll be fine.
It's kind of like when you go to a movie, say that's, I don't know, subtitles or something. At first you have to get used to watching it, but then by the end you don't realize
It
that you
really
don't
is. I
read
mean,
it
it's
anymore,
even
so.
sooner than that. I think it's a couple minutes. Your ear gets used to it. It's like a foreign language that you understand, because it really is English, believe it or not. And I think if you love Shakespeare and you're an expert in Shakespeare, you'll see this movie and probably think, gosh, I've never seen it done like that. What a cool interpretation, and how hip and sexy and fun. If you hate Shakespeare and never seen it before, I think if you see this movie, you're going to be proud of yourself that you saw it and understood it and enjoyed it, because it's a very accessible interpretation. Joss and all of us have come in wanting to make this fun for everybody. It's not intimidating, and it's not academic
or snobby.
Or snobby. No,
It's not.
No, because Shakespeare can get kind of, you know, it can get burdened with a lot of intimidation for some people. We've all been in high school, and
It's not my cup of tea.
and and had
really
some
not.
traumatic
This film
moments.
is.
This film is really my cup of tea.
Nathan is, I mean, when he appears on screen, it's a standing ovation every night.
That I always start.
He is truly hilarious in this movie. It's an extraordinary performance.
I know all three of you have worked with Joss plenty, but had the three of you worked together before?
Amy and I worked together briefly on Drive, but Amy and Alexis worked together for a long time on Angel.
On Angel, sure.
And we had never.
And the two of you hadn't?
No.
No?
Just at Joss's house for these Shakespeare
Yeah,
brunches.
these readings. Yeah. Of
Well,
course, we
and-
know each other, you know, outside of work.
Yeah, if you could just briefly elaborate on that. You actually would do readings of Shakespeare at his house that weren't for this film or for any other project, right? Other than just
An email would come
Friends?
out. An email would come out. Everybody, it's time for another Shakespeare brunch. Who can make it? And people would just start signing on. and then another email would come out. Great, here's the one we're doing. Here's the play.
Here's
Here's
your
your
part.
role.
Yeah.
This role and this role is now one role. This role is now a woman instead of a man, and let's go.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, the film, as you've probably heard, is the fastest selling event tonight in SIF's history. So obviously a lot of people here are very excited about it, and we're glad that you're here. Nathan, I can't let you go without throwing out a quick Castle question for all of our Castle fans.
I'll take it.
Oh yeah,
okay,
Alexis
great.
takes all my Castle
Great.
questions.
I know the season finale just aired.
Yes.
Can you give us any hints as to what the answer is going to be, or what
I am
comes
amazing
next?
in it. That's all I want to tell you.
Standing ovation as soon as you're on the
Fillion
screen.
am as usual.
I honestly have no idea. Even if I knew, I probably couldn't tell you.
Right.
I'd probably slide you a little hint or something. It would be very cryptic and tantalizing. I haven't even got that.
Sure. You're wrapped. You're on a break from
Yeah.
that show right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't even get to attend the wrap party. I had to go work. I had to go work on a different job, so I had to wrap it up, take off. I was gone.
Dedicated actors. That's proven by turning a film in 12 days when Joss Whedon was on a break from Avengers too. So thank you so much. Have a great time at the event tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Really
your time.
nice to be able to talk to you. Coming up, total